What is up, my fellow Goyim? Are you keeping kosher? Are you keeping up the chutzpah? Keep away from the ganefs. They're worth bubkiss. Are you meshugana? I'm not voting for a Republican or a Democrat. With all the schmutz on their names, they all want to be gods. They all want to give you headaches with their data centers. They all want to invade your child's tuchus. Debating over politicians is comparison shopping between murderers and pedophiles. You'd be better off electing your local pervy janitor to town council instead of anybody who's been your student body president. People who spend their lives prepping for power spend their lives sharpening their tolerance for other people's misery. Out of sight, out of mind. Do you really think that they want you and your child to spend your lives happily in the middle of nowhere, USA? Nah. Your son is going to go fight in the Ukraine, and your daughter is going to throw away her life to sell nudes online. And folks, she's not even that far off from what the closest thing to success is these days. She's right. It won't harm her image that much. Everybody's doing it these days. We're saying that work isn't paying enough. Life is too expensive. Time to start selling our bodies instead of demanding change. Guys, it's true. Locally sourced beef it's expensive. Protein isn't just for gym gains anymore. You know, you want to go lift 100-something pounds. It's for building out your breedable looking hips, and you praying to God that someone is willing to pay for looking at those for a few minutes. Because if not, you're fucked this month on rent. All that protein that you went to building up this perfectly stare-at-able body, apparently it wasn't enough, and now you're going to go hungry for the month. So folks, if some femboy or he-she from Thailand is able to grab more viewership, more so than you, how are you supposed to support yourself and your polycule? No children, thankfully. Not that they would have benefited from having children. It would be chaotic. The children's lives would be chaotic as well. Folks, why have I stopped eating fast food entirely? Because I don't want the Fent burger with a side of Diddy sauce and a Perk 30 to wash it down. It's a death factory. Is it convenient? Sure. Does it taste good? Honestly, that's debatable. Is it bad for you? Most certainly. Folks, this is like old news. This is old news. You don't need me to tell you that McNuggets make ears grow on mice. They encourage tumor production, reduce your immune system. Aluminum is horrific for dementia and Alzheimer's risk. It leads to causing chronic inflammation. Nothing, not a bit of it is good. And I'm done pretending that one stop once in a while at a Wendy's is decent. Oh, I only went once this month. No. You shouldn't be going once in your life. Folks, it's okay if you didn't know, if you were ignorant, but now you know, and now you have no excuses to keep getting fast food. Listen, especially if you're over 30, which thankfully I'm not yet, but that's good. I can stop while I'm young. Sugar contents, added sugars, AGEs, pro-cancer preservatives. It's not lunch. It's a chemical slop stew that you are just eager to invest yourself in. I'm sure you're not. I'm sure you're thinking about convenience, but listen, I know that it sounds like it's going to taste good. Ooh, that McFlurry that's filled with 14,000 grams of sugar or whatever, milligrams of sugar. It's also so-so. You know what I mean? It's not the best food. And it's very easy to convince yourself that it's not that bad. You're it's got some lettuce, the pickles and whatnot that use preservatives that'll also increase my risk of heart disease and cancer. Pickling things in general, it's a good idea last resort. Don't use aluminum to can in general. Aluminum leaches into your canned foods and whatnot. Glass might be your best option. We're going to look back on the Happy Meal in a few years, 20, 30, maybe 50 years. We're going to look back and say the Happy Meal era was essentially giving kids cigarettes. We'll look back on this era of accepted, highly processed foods and go, oh, that's why everybody was sick and fucked up. That's why I didn't have a clear way of thinking for the first 30 years of my life. It's like lead in the 1970s and 80s. It's like cigarettes in the 50s and 60s. It's the new asbestos, a chronic killer that we plant in our own homes, in our cars, in our kids. How about that for Monday energy? How about that? Folks, if you were planning on putting a Big Mac, the Mig back is close enough, I guess. If you're planning on putting a Mig back to your lips anytime soon, honestly, this is honest and actual advice. Pick up a cigarette and just smoke it. To your lips, inhale, exhale, or smoke like Bill Clinton or my grandma. They both were I did not inhale, except she said it, I did not inhale. There's a reference for all you 90s babies. By the way, how's the world going, millennials, ladies and gentlemen? That's right, 90s kids. Most of you are in your 30s, 40s now. What's the boomer led world doing to you? You know what I mean? Remember how y'all said you were when you were kids, things would be different when y'all got to power. When you were the generation that was given the levers of power and whatnot. Look, what would happen if we all eventually had the opportunities to make everything right? Now you have it. You are the majority in the House. You're the majority in the Senate. This is Gen Xers, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a young crowd. This is they are the ones who grew up with this sort of rebellious energy, and now like gentle parenting, the giving nature, the trust in institutions. How's that going for them as a generation? Not great. Remember how punk rock and edgy they all used to be? They were the Rage Against the Machine generation. You know exactly who I'm talking about. The fags who blasted Pink Floyd's Another Brick in the Wall. Oh my God. If I have to have one more fucking loser tell me that changed their life. When I heard Pink Floyd's Brick in the Wall, it shattered my perception on things. I know that you're just like B level, whatever. It's okay. Your introduction into deep thinking was late onset. Is that a good, clinical way we can say it? They proceeded to fall in line, though. It is with exactly what their parents did. They got complacent. They watched like South Park to get their CIA propaganda, but in a funny way. They watched MTV to get their free love and sex addictions in a fun way. They become shells, I'm going to be honest, unfortunately, of their punk glory selves. Money grubbers, just like their parents. And by the way, don't think that my generation's going to be any different. We won't be. We are going to be the same as them, festering in homes in decent neighborhoods or on the streets. It's like they will figure out a way to fester no matter which financial condition they're in. Because every generation before us had excellent money management skills. If you're older and your parents aren't doing better, about that. If you're older and you grew up watching your mother struggle, you grew up maybe watching her jump from job to job, your father was like not able to hold down anything and whatnot, you understand finances get tight. It sucks. But unfortunately for them, they're able to find this way of festering no matter what ring of poverty that they sit at. Folks, specifically in Gen X, can I just ask what happened? Where did y'all turn from the they don't really care about us, Michael Jackson, uncensored listeners, where they say kike and Jew, all that good stuff, into this like Blake Shelton is a masterpiece type of generation? It went from like screw the man to like screw Phillips Head. I'm putting an addition onto my property this year. What do you think? Like people who whined about minimum wage back in the day are now like residing in their brand new 4-bedroom, 3-bath modern colonial because they realize that if they just wait a minute, the nice inheritance will make its way down and they can go ignore their kids' problems just like their parents did. And I can't wait until it's my turn for that too. Ladies and gentlemen, like boomers, they don't do much these days. The youngest among them are like 61. They are just kind of like they mosey around family functions and like, areas around town where I guess they feel welcome. They're becoming kind of like their parents a little bit. Because I believe in the idea that many people, we all eventually do become our parents. You remember the silent generation, the olds like born in the 30s, 40s. If you're a Gen X kid, you probably remember your grandma was like born in 1930, 1940 something. At a certain point, they just stopped talking to the whole family. Like maybe that they had that aunt or uncle who was their like pseudo handler, but like at certain points, old folks go, I got no more to add. It'll take me 5 minutes to just kind of form a thought or say something that'll make sense. So they just like giggle at stuff. They'll make a quick joke, but they'll mostly just then resign themselves to like, counting their fingernails again. Like folks, talk to your grandparents. They didn't just watch the Beatles and Elvis on Ed Sullivan as a child. They like also probably lived a life, I'm guessing. They're like, they lived in places, they've seen people, they've done things. Trouble is, now you better pray that you have a mind that is sharp at that age. And I don't mean like pin sharp. I mean like Sharpie marker sharp. It can be dull, but it can image out a picture for the people that you're telling a story to. Otherwise, if you're stuck talking to one of these, like loop around and, well, I come back to this original point, but then it was an important detail and I'll come back to it later, but I'll just talk about this. And then it's like 1950 something, old people, if you really want to be listened to and revered, as the village shamans many of you are ready to be, you got to be succinct. You got to have concise kind of turf statements, stories, and turns of phrase. You got to grab the younger generation's attention. You got to have a Joey Diaz energy. I don't even mean people who were born in the 2000s as the younger gens. I mean 90s kids, 80s kids, some 70s babies too, let's be honest. You raised them. You know what it's like. In 1983, your kids were like 10. You were going, kids, the world is crazy. Reagan's talking about something about like Grenada, this little country. He's outlining an evil empire. You see, to beat the Soviets, we got this plan called Star Wars or the Strategic Defense Initiative. And by that point, your Gen X kids, they went, Dad, shut the fuck up. Michael Jackson just fucking walked backwards on a stage at Motown 25 anniversary show. Who cares about Reagan? What? Who is he? Like from then on, every time you tried to talk about real things, it was just the younger gen going, da, 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 da. Then your wife goes, don't bother, Daniel. Don't bother. They've been out back practicing that gay-ass backwards walk all day. Don't bother, Daniel. Daniel, they're singing songs about black men abandoning his children with a woman named Billy. I don't get it. I don't know it, Daniel. I don't understand our children just as much as you do. Folks, by the way, do you want to know the least stolen products at Walmart? 9-volt batteries, sunscreen, Father's Day cards, work boots, and mufflers. It's interesting. Pattern recognition is not a crime, but thievery is, ladies and gentlemen.